G'day ladies and gentlemen, we are Callum
and Ben
from Abacus Productions and welcome to the Second Chance Cinema.
Here at the Second Chance Cinema, we love nothing more than to give movies with a bad reputation one final opportunity to bask in cinematic greatness.
If a film succeeds, we'll place it on the shelf of redemption so that people can finally recognise its true quality.
If a film fails, we will send it back through the portal to movie hell, never to be seen again.
Grab some snacks, sit down and get comfortable.
The show is about to begin. For today's episode, we'll be covering a nostalgic childhood classic for millions of kids out there.
Shut up, Ben! Welcome to the Space Jam!
When the world's greatest athlete, Michael Jordan, teams up with the world's best-loved cartoon character, Bugs Bunny, you won't believe your eyes.
Yes, indeed we are covering 1996's Space Jam.
Yes! I'm so excited we get to cover a good movie. Thank you, Ben! But I thought we only did bad films.
We do.
How dare you! This film is amazing and I refuse to take any other opinion on it.
Dude, take off the nostalgia goggles. This movie is crap. It's time for you to grow up.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm adulting you. Really think about it. This mid-90s movie stars Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes. Michael Jordan, the basketball player, and the animated Looney Tunes characters. What part of this could be good?
Well, it must be good enough to score a 63% with audience on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.3 on IMDb.
But it's also got a 38% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes.
You know what, Ben? I have a feeling that this film is going to change your point of view. So, let's start the best kids movie ever. Space Jam! The film starts off with a young Michael Jordan shooting hoops in his backyard.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
His father comes out and gives him some encouraging words about life. As they walk inside though, the opening credits start intercut with a montage of Michael Jordan's NBA basketball career.
People in the house, let's go. It's your boy JD. So pass that thing and watch me flex behind my back. You know what's next. Get jam all in your face. What's up? Just feel the bass, drop it, knocking down the room.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got a real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space.
How long are these opening credits?
The Space Jam never ends, Ben! There are only three certainties in life. Death, taxes, and the Space Jam!
Well, at least with this montage, I know we'll get some cool basketball action with MJ in this film.
And I must retire.
Well, never bloody mind then. What are we gonna get? Him playing baseball? Motherfucker!
We see that Michael really sucks at baseball, but the other player still kisses off because of who he is.
We're then introduced to Michael's new assistant, Stan, played by Wayne Knight.
Hello, Newman.
We're introduced to Moron Mountain, a theme park on a distant planet, run by the evil business alien Swackhammer, voiced by Danny DeVito. People have become bored of the park, so him and his minions try to come up with a new attraction.
We need something. We need something.
Looney? Oops. Looney, I don't think so.
Looney? I'm an elf! Shoot me! Get the Looney Tunes!
Looney Tunes!
So Swackhammer sends his minions down to Earth and they start digging towards the core of the planet to find Looney Tune Land. Wait a minute. Is that where it's been this whole time? Well, fuck this shit! I'm going to Looney Tune Land!
Cal, where the hell are you going? We have a show to do.
And I have a life to live! Fuck you, I'm going to Looney Tune Land!
So the Bugs attempt to capture Bugs. But true to form, the rascally rabbit outsmarts the minions. At least for a minute.
Hold on there, Mr. Looney Tune.
Holy shit, is that a gun or a nuclear warhead? Anyway, so after a brief scene at the Jordan household where we see news reporters slamming Jordan's baseball ability, we cut to an emergency meeting that's been called by Bugs. Welcome back.
Digging's hard. So before the minions can capture Bugs and the other Looney Tunes, he pulls some trickery to convince the minions to play in a basketball game with their freedom on the line.
The aliens then go to an NBA game and steal the talent of 5 famous basketball players we've never heard of. Don't judge us, we aren't sports people. The names are on the screen now thanks to the magic of editing. We see Michael in his hotel room as Stan tells him to get ready.
Get your Hanes on, lace up your Nikes, grab your Wheaties and your Gatorade, and we'll pick up a Big Mac on the way to the ballpark.
Mr. Knight, how much money did you make from saying that one line?
Was it under $500 million?
So the aliens return to Toonland and use the talent from the players to turn themselves into monsters, uniforms included. They grew clothes. Sure.
We then see MJ playing golf with Larry Bird, Stan, and Bill Murray. Again, sure. Bill Murray casually mentions that he would like to play basketball.
They're gonna need new players with talent. You think I got a shot? It's because I'm white, isn't it?
So Michael gets sucked into a golf hole into Toon World, where after some classic Looney Tunes antics, Bugs and the gang tell him that they need his help.
See, Michael isn't an actor, and it's clear. But you've got to admit, he does a pretty decent job.
Yeah, he's alright actually. He's got some decent facial expressions and a good presence, but his line reading could use a bit of work.
You alright? Oh, that was a nasty fall. Who are these guys? What's going on here? Let's play some basketball. And I must retire. You guys are nuts. Yeah, but I'm a baseball player now. You want a piece of me? Come and get it.
After the Toons clean up the court and Warner Brothers literally kisses their own ass, the Monstars show up and intimidate Michael. But it doesn't work and he decides to play for the Toons anyway.
We then see a montage of the 5 NBA players that lost their talent trying to find the solution. All the scenes with these guys are pretty unnecessary.
But you have to admit it. They're kind of funny.
Yeah, they're kind of funny.
I promise I'll never swear again. I'll never get another technical.
Battery to include EEG.
I'll never go out with Madonna again.
We see that the Toons suck at basketball and then we're introduced to Lola Bunny. This is uncomfortable.
Bugs and Daffy then have to go back to Michael's house to get his basketball gear for the game. During this sequence, the Toons look great and they blend in with the real-world environment seamlessly. Props to the animators on this one, they did a wonderful job.
So Stan finds his way down to Toonland and wants to play with the basketball team. Michael says no because, well...
I'm slow.
And large. And a dork.
It's the day of the game and the Monstars absolutely whoop the Toon Squad during the first half. It's animated really nicely and it's a lot of fun to watch.
I love basketball. I've always loved basketball. Do you love basketball? You're big. I bet you're good at basketball. I'm small, but I'll try really, really hard to be good at basketball. Really, I will. I always try hard. My mom says try your best in everything you do.
Hell no. No, hold me back, Cal. Hold me back. You squashed the little adorable mouse. I'm gonna fucking kill him. Or at least give him a foul or something.
Wait a second. Are you finding yourself emotionally invested in this film?
I don't recall saying I was.
So after Stan eavesdrops on the Monstars and find out their secret weapon, Michael and Bugs use the power of illicit drugs to get the Toon Squad back in the game.
The Toon Squad have a great second half, while officially throwing the rulebook out the window while it's on fire, because they scored at least 100 red cards easily.
Nice kaboom, Wiley.
A Pulp Fiction reference. Because that's what all the little kids were watching in 1996, the Quentin Tarantino R-rated bloodfest with leather gimp daddies and drug overdoses and worst of all, John Travolta.
A timeout is called and Swackhammer and Jordan agree to some interesting stakes now that the game is pretty much tied up.
What about we raise the stakes a little bit?
Interesting.
If we win, you give the NBA players their talent back.
But what if we win?
If you win, you get me.
Most of the team is too beat up to continue and they need a 5th member or they have to forfeit. Stan joins the team, but instantly gets flattened. Just as all hope seems lost and there's nothing they can do, the one thing that always comes through in the end shows up just in the nick of time to save the day. Bill fucking Murray!
Hey! Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
So they plan out their new strategy, and they end up winning by just a point. Hooray! Go Toon Squad. Awesome. As per their new stakes, Michael forces the aliens to give the NBA players their talent back. Then they place it in a ball. Michael needs to leave for a baseball game, so he farewells the Toon Squad, takes off in some sort of spaceship, and arrives at the game to a standing ovation.
Later, Michael gives the players back their talent and they goad him into one last basketball game, which brings him back to the NBA. We see footage of his return game and the movie ends. So now that the movie has come to an end, it's time to really get into the...
I'm sorry. This is the final verdict.
Kaboom, blam! Oh, excuse me again, dear.
Cal, your first positive, go.
Alright, so my first positive is that after 21 years, this film is still fun to watch. It's a good laugh, and anyone from the ages of 6 to 80 can enjoy this movie. Whether it's the basketball aspect or just the cartoon aspect, the movie is fun, and its references hold up fairly well.
Yeah. Alright, not going to elaborate. My first positive. The human characters are surprisingly interesting. Michael Jordan, okay, not interesting, but entertaining. Michael Jordan, like we said, is not a great actor, but he gives a decent, he's there, he's fun to watch and such. Moving on from him, Wayne Knight is, he's playing Wayne Knight, but he's fun to watch, obviously. And there's Bill Murray. Yeah, Bill Murray. Yeah, so, human characters, they're great. They could be boring in an animated film, but they actually work.
Alright, so there are negatives, sadly.
Your first negative.
So my first negative is the product placement in this film is quite ridiculous. We touched on it a little bit, but not much. If you watch the film properly and understand what you're looking for, you'll see it all over the place. It is littered with product placement. It doesn't take away from the film itself. It gets in your face and it's like, go away.
I mean, apart from, what's different in this one than other movies is that, it's not directly here's a McDonald's box in your face, here's an Audi car logo in your face. It's just they mention the names, especially in that one line of brands. But, yeah, it can get a bit ridiculous, especially that one line. That was crazy. Alright, my first negative. The whole thing with the NBA players trying to find the cure for losing their talent. Don't need it. Don't really need it. It's fun to watch. They're funny enough, but it takes away. It's just, it doesn't need to be there at all.
Yep.
So, yeah. Your second positive.
Alright, so my second positive is that the animation blends really well with the real world. So when Bugs and Daffy go to the human world to go to Michael's house and get his stuff, they blend really well and the lighting is done really, really well as well. I'm saying well a lot, I'm sorry.
Well, that's some pretty good animation.
But the other thing that does stand out to me as being good is when Michael's actually in the Toon World, although everything is a green screen, for some reason it doesn't look that bad. And because they acknowledge the fact that he's from the 3D world and they're from the 2D world, it isn't as jarring as a lot of other movies would make it jarring.
Yeah.
Like last week.
It's 21 years old, but, it still looks decent for a movie that's that old. Yeah, okay, so my second positive. Voice cast, top notch. As always, the Looney Tunes cast sounds fantastic. Danny DeVito is great as the villain. The Monstars all sound pretty funny. And yeah, that's all I have to say. They're pretty good.
Yep.
So, second negative, go.
So my second negative, and... Hang on, okay, Okay. Sorry, the order's been swapped around. Okay, so my second negative is my last one. Lola's too sexual.
Yeah.
Now, I mean...
I don't like it.
It's a cartoon. Don't make a cartoon sexual. And if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure this is where they introduced Lola.
This is her first appearance in Looney Tunes,
and that was how they started. It's like, yep! Animators are furries.
We're speeding up your puberty, we're doing it the way we want to do it.
Bunnies. Moving on. Your next negative.
My next negative is, where is it? There it is. Like we said before, Michael Jordan just isn't a good actor. He's not, he's not horrible in this movie. I don't want to shoot myself watching his performance, like I did last week with Blake Lively. Last week. It was 2 weeks ago. The point is... Last episode. Yes. Point is, Michael Jordan is still just not a very good actor. He does what he needs to do, but nothing else.
Alright, so my next negative and my last negative... Positive. That's the word.
We know how to do this segment.
So, my last positive, and I've said it like 8 times throughout this. After 21 years, this film holds up.
Yeah.
I don't have to say much more. We've given our points for it throughout this, but yeah, that's my positive. It holds up, and I was happy to say that we went and bought this just for this episode.
Yeah. My last positive is, where is it? There. It's there. I found it. Okay, we've got a piece of paper. Yeah, so my last positive, it's a little one, but it really helps. The film is just the right length at 88 minutes. Just shy of an hour and a half, but it's basically an hour and a half, you know. But no, it's the perfect length. It didn't need to be any shorter or any longer. You could have cut out the NBA player stuff, like I said, but you could have replaced it with something else. Yeah, so it was a good watch because it was, you know, it wasn't too long, wasn't too short, just right. Okay, so that doesn't answer the question just yet. Is this film a pass or a fail? We know Cal's verdict, but what's mine?
Pass.
Yeah, it's a pass.
That's right, it is. It's a pass, guys. Did it.
Space Jam is by no means a perfect movie, but it holds up well enough after 21 years. The animation looks great, the Looney Tunes are as funny as ever, and Michael Jordan could have been worse. So, this gets a pass from us.
Okay, guys, so this episode's going to be a little different. Last time we did it so if we lost, we had to put it in the bin. This time, if we win, we get to put it on the shelf.
I want to do it.
I want to fucking do it.
I want to do it. I want to do it. I've never felt a better experience in my life, Cal.
You think I have?
I want to do it.
Let's just fucking do it, okay?
Okay, fine. Fine.
Okay.
Alright, I can do this. I can do it. I can do it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yes! Is it amazing?
It's amazing, Ben.
Okay, so that's going to conclude this episode of Second Chance Cinema. We hope you enjoyed it and got some sort of emotion out of it. Maybe it made you happy or sad or made you laugh or made you cry or do something. Point is, if you enjoyed it, we're happy.
If you liked the video, well then hit that like button. If you want to see more of our stuff, subscribe to us and go and watch the other stuff on our channel. And if you've got any feedback for us, we'd really love to hear it as we are still learning. So please comment on every video you can. Something nice, not anything mean.
Unless you have something mean to say. Until next time, we hope you've enjoyed your stay at the Second Chance Cinema. Please join us again. Goodbye.